the great Andrew Schulz, everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Congratulations on the special.
Thank you very much, man.
Yeah, that's
Appreciate
awesome,
that.
man.
And on a baby.
Yeah, that's the cool
They're
part.
kind of intertwined.
Yeah, the special's about trying to make the baby.
Yeah, that's very
Nice.
cool. I'd heard
Yeah.
about this because I would run into somebody that goes on the road with you.
Oh, Poston, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Derek.
And,
Yeah.
and he told me like that theme a while ago. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
really, but now I get to actually see it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, check it out, man.
Yeah.
If you get time. Yeah,
No,
it was
for
cool.
sure.
It was tough for us to get pregnant, so
We talked about that briefly.
Yeah.
Like a while ago.
Yeah, I guess I was foreshadowing. I was like, I didn't think it was going to be this tricky, but it was.
No, and you know what's crazy is that as a woman too, you spend most of your life trying not to get pregnant. And
That's interesting.
then one day you're
Yeah.
like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's pull the goalie and let's try it. And it is hard.
Yeah.
So unless you're 18 years old.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it wasn't her fault.
Was it your fault?
Yeah.
Your swimmers?
My sperm doesn't. Yeah.
Really?
So that's
Yeah, the doctor said my sperm swims like Lizzo in a riptide. I got a great doctor. If
That's
you want
very cool doctor,
It's
yeah.
got awesome parlance to describe your
Yeah.
medical difficulties.
that's
Yeah.
very funny.
Yeah, no, he's so my sperm sucks, and but I thought it was her fault too.
Yeah.
So it was very surprising,
Yeah.
and then I just started talking about it on stage, and it was like so weird. I thought, I mean, this is kind of cliche, but I literally thought that this was like an anomaly that nobody goes through, and I would like talk about it on stage, and like these like guys would come up to me afterwards, and they wouldn't admit it, but they'd be like, "Oh, that was some funny stuff right there, man. Like, yeah, you should keep doing that. That was good. That was good." And I was like, "What's going on?" And I started like talking to friends, and they would, every one of them was like, "Oh yeah, we're doing IVF." Like everybody, I'm 41, so I'm a little older, obviously,
Yeah.
but like, I didn't know. And I was like, "Oh, is this like the last taboo thing? Is this the thing that we're like afraid to admit?"
That is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think you should be embarrassed about. Like, I think it's like your kids will really know you want them.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know that like fear that kind of like the generation before us all had, which is like, did my parents even want me?
Right.
Like they came back from war and it was like, I guess we do this.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, like if you do it, like we paid, there's like a receipt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was premeditated, you know?
So did we because
You guys did it?
the second
sick.
baby.
The second time around, we didn't even.
I didn't know this. Have you
Yeah.
guys spoken about this before?
Yeah.
Really? Have we,
Kind
like,
of
we were so in
casual.
it that we didn't.
But
Okay.
like, it wasn't even. We didn't even go like, let's try and then do it. We just went straight to it.
You went, okay.
Well,
yeah.
because
Wait, why?
because we were
well,
older.
I'll tell you why. So, but
You took a
here's-
look at Christina.
I was
Like,
like,
"Oh,
oh,
eggs."
I was like,
sure.
Poached.
Woo!
this kid's not gonna fucking be able to eat
So,
with a fork if we do it the
no.
regular way.
Because the first baby I had at 39, like I delivered at I think 38 or 39.
wow, okay.
So I was already a geriatric
Yeah.
pregnancy, and all
Yeah.
I had to do was take like
Crazy
a pill.
term, right?
I know, it's so fucked up.
Yeah.
I took like one pill and I got pregnant. But then I had a miscarriage before that.
Yeah.
And they said, well, now that you're 40 to go in for baby number 2.
Yeah.
They're like, the chances of miscarriage are like really, really
Yeah.
high. And I didn't want to go through another miscarriage because it's
Yeah,
so
brutal.
heartbreaking.
That's the other thing I didn't realize, like how often people have miscarriages.
Oh, yes.
Oh, so often.
Almost
Yes.
everybody.
It's unbelievable.
It's a lot.
like
Yeah.
I even think a lot of girls that are just kind of having sex regularly
yeah.
that have like a late period.
Yeah.
It's not really a late period.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a miscarriage. They just weren't aware that they were pregnant. And then when you're trying to get pregnant, now you're acutely aware of what's
Very
happening in
aware.
your body. Yeah, we thought that happened. I mean, I talk about it in the special, but like we thought we lost it actually.
Really?
Yeah, it was really scary. My wife started bleeding.
How pregnant was she? How far along?
She was that's a great question.
Like, was she showing? or
Early.
was
No,
it
she was
early?
it was very early because the story I tell in the special is actually not as tragic, but like we went to see if there was a heartbeat and it wasn't developed enough to hear it yet.
Oh,
So we had
it's
to
early.
wait a week.
Oh my god.
So the doctor's like, we think it's okay,
Yeah, that's terrible.
but you have to wait. So the whole week you're just like holding your breath. I'm doing podcasts,
Oh my god.
reacting to shit on the internet. Like I don't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was crazy.
Oh my god. So the first pregnancy we had, I was 35. I think when we first started, I got pregnant right away, and Tommy and I were touring with YMH at the time. We
Right.
were driving through Dallas. Remember, we were driving through
Yeah.
Texas, and we just found out that the baby wasn't viable. We did an ultrasound, and it was
Yeah.
like 6 weeks along, and it was
Yeah.
dead. And the doctor, remember, she was like, well, do you want to miscarry naturally or do you want me to abort it? And I was like, just do it naturally.
Yeah.
So you're basically waiting for your miscarriage. And I just remember we were touring and we had to make money. I had to go to Texas. And the whole time just crossing my fingers that I wouldn't miscarry, you know, on the road, God forbid. And then one time I did. Remember, I had a miscarriage on New Year's Eve at this
The ball dropped.
in Austin. Yeah, and I was having a miscarriage as I was telling jokes.
No,
That's how dark that was. But then I was kind of used to it. You're just bleeding. And you're like, well, I may as well just go tell these jokes on New Year's Eve and fucking forget about it. But you just have to live your life. This death is happening or happened.
Also delivering that late, like having a delay. Yeah, I'm sure like it's a constant concern for women, especially as you get a little bit older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preeclampsia.
Excuse me.
Do you mind?
Yeah. Sorry.
Fucking
I don't know if your experience was like this, but so we go in for second baby.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's just do this. Like, let's not even
IVF.
try some. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's not even
Fuck
try
it.
anything else. So then they go, okay, you know, we made the potion.
Yeah.
And then they were like, all right, you have 19 embryos.
You got 19
I had a lot
at
of
40
eggs.
years old.
Yeah.
19 embryos.
Yeah.
Christina.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Strong Eastern European.
19 embryos or 19 eggs?
19 eggs.
No.
Nam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Embryos is after they. So
after.
usually you like half it along the
Okay,
process,
so
right?
no. I had a lot of eggs.
You must have had like 30 eggs.
Yeah. You had 19 embryos and they were all male. And then they go, so now we put them in and we rank them.
Yeah. Oh,
They're like, these 6 have Down syndrome. Do you
Yeah,
want them?
they
And I'm
weren't
like,
good.
do we want them?
Yeah.
And then they're like, this one has a horrible heart defect.
Yeah.
This one will have this disease. And I'm like, I'm assuming we're excluding these. And they're like, well, it's up to you. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then they go all the way through and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, and we have one that's rated A++. And I go, we'll take fucking that one.
Yeah.
We'll take the A++. And they're like, okay, well, you just have the choice. And I'm like, yeah, there's not a choice.
There's no choice. There's one good embryo.
There's one good
It
embryo.
starts at the bottom.
Yeah, because but some of them, I'm saying when they said the 19, they were basically like 11 of these are not viable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
that
went
was
we
wild.
went through the same thing. Yeah.
How did she have eggs? She had enough eggs.
Yeah, we were lucky. We didn't get that haul, but it was but yeah, she had like 9. And then we were able to do it and then you know, we didn't choose the gender. The choosing the gender thing is kind of
That's crazy.
it's kind of funny because
Wait, hold on. You can choose, like they can take which sperm.
well, no,
Well-
you know what gender the embryo
Right.
is,
That's
right?
what we
so
did
you
too,
guys
yeah.
had all males.
We had
All
all male.
boys.
So, but you know, we had both, and we were like, we didn't want to know. We were like, we felt like it
Yeah.
was like playing God a little bit too much. But after reflecting on it a little bit, like, there are some countries that don't let you choose the gender, right? I think America's like the only one that kind of lets you, and it is kind of funny because it's very rarely is someone choosing girl.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Right.
so when they say you can choose the gender, they're basically saying, can you choose boy? Now,
Yeah.
it is, right? That's true. But they can't say it like that. So
Right.
the other countries, they realize, oh shit, everybody's just choosing boy. And we got all these chicks that are just on the shelf. So we need to, we need to solve this problem. And they go, okay, you can't choose. We're just putting whatever's in there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But it is rare you go in. Like, I think some people do it, like if they've had 3 kids and they just want a girl.
Yeah.
Like Charlemagne, he has 4 girls.
4 girls.
Yeah, so I know by the 4th you were going for the boy.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't think they're going to do another kid. But if they did, IVF, some people go, okay, I want this locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the guy.
But he might have our luck and they'll be like, hey, you have 19
Oh
girls.
my God.
Yeah.
Or some people want one of each, which I understand.
Hell yeah.
It's awesome. But you know what I was going to say? You're right that there's, I didn't like to be too public with it because A, what if it doesn't work? And now you're embarrassed or you feel sad and it's a public sadness. And B, because of my age, I felt a little bit of shame because we're using science to do something that nature doesn't want to happen. And there's a weird shame attached to that for me.
Like you feel guilty about
Something-
going through it?
Yes, like I'm cheating nature.
Like you're not supposed to have
I'm
a
not
kid.
supposed to be doing this, and I know that, and you know that on some level because I am now. Hold on, I'm 48. I have a kindergartner.
Yeah.
I'm a 48-year-old mom of a kindergartner.
Yeah. It's
I'm
beautiful.
Thankfully in good health.
Yeah.
But like, wow, that's not how nature intended that shit.
Yeah, but we
to
do
happen.
so much shit that's not how nature intended. We fly in planes, you know what I mean?
No.
You have blonde hair.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we constantly are refuting nature's desires. So I'm not worried about that at all. And nature wants us to have babies. They just gave us some science to do it.
Well, that's a good way.
It definitely helps. Yeah.
I feel like with 19 embryos, you guys would have got pregnant immediately, regularly.
But then they weren't sticking. They were the eggs were not perfect enough.
Yeah,
I could get pregnant, but they weren't.
I think that's why
genetically good enough.
with all that help, we had one good option.
Yeah, we had one good egg.
It was one option.
And that was Juju.
Yeah. And then he came out like a Gerber, like he's just
beautiful.
like big cheeks, blue eyes, like, hey, like he's like a baby advertisement, you know?
Oh my
You're like,
gosh. And now he's like, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck, man? And I'm like,
Is he cursing?
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How old are they?
6
And he's like, why is this fucking table here?
I love it.
Shit.
Well, that's the fun part of having kids as a comedian, because I don't really have a gauge on what's societally normal sometimes, and I just like, for instance, our boys like hammers. They're just a fucking hammer shit.
Yeah.
And they're fighting over one hammer
Yeah.
this weekend. And I said, you know what, boys? Let's go to the hardware store. I'm going to buy you each a fucking hammer.
Yeah.
Okay? And we're going to buy shovels. We're going to go to the park, and you're just going to fucking wild out.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if we'd done that in LA, a million people would be looking at me, stink-eyeing me. Oh, you let your boys be toxic male. But in Texas, they were like, look at them boys just digging and hitting and doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know if that's normal. Like, is that a normal
Did
thing
you
to
feel
do?
judgment as parents in LA? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I think,
Really?
I
Yes.
think that LA, like the way that I summarize it for people is like, you walk into a place in LA with a young kid, let's say like a 3-year-old or something. Right away, they're like,
It's going to ruin.
Oh, it's an
Right.
inconvenience.
yeah. And they're
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
is he gonna? And then in Texas, you walk in with that kid and the kid knocks something over and they go, it's a kid.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
Look
just
at
like
me
family
now.
values.
Yeah, they're like, it's what
culture
kids
stuff.
do.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, yeah.
Oh, you just watched a YMH highlight. Did you love it? Why don't you have more fun? Click around. Click here, click there, click everywhere. Put a clicker in your beehole. Look, try it out. Have more fun. Why don't you subscribe? That way, every time a video drops, you can be notified. You don't have to think about it. Just do it, man. You're not going to miss a moment of denim. Pull your jeans up, subscribe.